So, many people who I've come across believe that the Twilight of the Apprentice episode was about Ezra Bridger, but here's my opinion. Ahsoka was the former apprentice of Anakin Skywalker who became Darth Vader. Not many people understand that the final duel between the two, there was a moment of love and hatred. Anakin loved Ahsoka as if she was more of a little sister, and he cared for her. He did just about anything he could to protect her. But at the same time, when he's now become Darth Vader, he is fueled by hatred from the loss of his wife, Padme, thinking that his kids were dead. And all that emotion just enraged him, and she said, "I would not leave you, not this time." And it brought back the pain and the suffering of when she originally left him, knowing, maybe not knowingly, but him knowing that he's now a Sith Lord. It doesn't matter to him. She's not his child. The only reason, in my opinion, Luke was able to bring Darth Vader over to the good side is because of Darth Sidious electrifying his son to death. There has been in many cases where a father will sacrifice himself for his family. Whether or not we are able to understand the full meaning of the episode, if we look at the episode of where Darth Maul versus the Obi-Wan was saddened that he had to take Maul's life. Not that I blame him. He's got one purpose. He didn't really want to fight. He didn't have his lightsaber ignited the first time. He originally sliced Darth Maul in half in episode 1. And then, after the Clone Wars and after episode 2, they started doing series of Anakin, blah, 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 and trying to, showing his growth and such. And then they brought Savage Opress, Maul's brother. Savage Opress finds Maul, finds that he is, woohoo, crazy. And Maul's been always possessed with the fuel for revenge. If someone sliced me in half and I survived, I would want some freaking revenge too. But as we know in Twilight of the Apprentice, Maul is not just wanting revenge against Obi-Wan. He's wanting revenge against Darth Vader, Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious killed Maul's brother. So he's wanting revenge against Darth Sidious for the betrayal. And Darth Vader took his place in his mind when Darth Sidious was all along planning to have Maul at his side. That's what Maul's thinking when Darth Sidious was wanting Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Because Anakin Skywalker was pure force in a living body. A lot of people, if you guys don't know anything about Darth Plagueis, then that's up to you. I'm actually quite disappointed in Disney, for one. I do not like the fact that they killed off Han Solo. You can't have a movie without Han Solo. I'm sorry. He's that smartass that everyone loves. He's that comedian that brings enjoyment to the film. And another thing is that Ben Solo, that was wrong. Disney, I am sorry, but you guys really messed up on that. Everyone knows that Han and Leia had 3 kids total. As far as I remember, there were 3 kids. Their first set was twins. Jason and Jaina Solo. They were twins. Jason was one turned to the dark side. Jaina stayed as a Jedi. It's just wrong. So wrong. And Ben was actually Luke and Maria Jade Skywalker's kid. I am so upset with you for doing that. You guys took everything that I loved about the original Star Wars into a complete dislike. I wouldn't even cared if you guys would have had Han Solo change or something. It's just that specific character brought enjoyment to the film for the original series for me. There was no one like him. And there still isn't today. You know, you kill off a main important character, you might as well be cutting off your own head, honestly. Killing off a great comedian that's throughout the whole Star Wars universe. Look at everything he ever did that made people laugh. The whole, let's see. You look at the old films, and he will, okay, take this for instance. He ends up rescuing Luke from the freezing cold, and ends up being able to get Echo Base to come and get Luke back to the original base. He ends up getting fighters to come out there and search for them, to pick them up and take them back to Echo Base. And when Leia calls him a scruffy-looking nerf herder, Han ends up being like, you know, just like, what? And Chewbacca's in the background laughing it up, and he's like, laugh it up, fuzzball. You know, it's just slight comments like that is what makes a movie even better. But anyways, back to the whole Twilight of the Apprentice. I believe the Twilight of the Apprentice was mainly about Ahsoka Tano. Knowing that that specific place was a Sith ruling. In my opinion, there should have been a showdown like a long time ago between the two. But at the same time, I just think that they should have like not kind of like just somewhat like written her off the show. I don't know. In my opinion, I believe she's still alive. Are you kidding me? She's awesome. She's a great Jedi. One that uses anger and compassion at the same time. Jedi were encouraged to have compassion, but yet they were forbidden to use their anger. But look at Anakin Skywalker. He used his anger in his lightsaber combat of the Form 5 Jim-So / Xian. But the point is, it was the most aggressive form. Luke was the only one that ever used it fully with compassion. He was the only one to achieve it in that way. I honestly feel sorry for Ahsoka, you know, knowing that her master had turned that way, and then she had one final choice to either leave him behind or duel it out, which she did. Vader was crippled by it. But at the same time, when you see that screeching little owl go flying, you know, down and stuff, if you really look, she falls to her knees. She was crippled herself. I don't believe she is dead, but I do believe she may be seriously injured, and she will rely on the Force. She will literally rely on the Force just to survive. Maul survived on his hatred. A great Jedi, they don't believe the same way that a regular Jedi does, and they don't believe the same way a Sith does. They are what you call the stand in between. They use both sides of the Force to win a battle or to literally negotiate. They use both sides of logic. I do believe that the dark side brings more to... It's more than... They rely... Okay, the Sith rely on their passion. They rely on a lot of the dark side. They only use their passion for themselves. But at the same time, a Grey Jedi uses only passion and, use it to take care of the others. The Jedi are compassionate and they think of everyone else but themselves. Okay. One, Anakin Skywalker was kind of a Grey Jedi. Honestly, let's think about this. Let's think about this whole thing for a minute. Anakin Skywalker fell in love with Padme. Okay. I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame him, honestly. She's hot. She fell in love with him. They got married. It's nothing against the Jedi rule about having kids. But everyone knows that when you get a little frisky, sometimes you part with something. Even with the no strings attached rule, which I'm pretty sure that's what the Jedi were pretty much saying, that with Kai Mundi, he got married to help repopulate his species. But the only thing is you can't just repopulate without having a piece of you go missing. It's that feeling you have with someone. And so Anakin Skywalker loved his mother deeply. She was killed by the Tusken Raiders. He slaughtered that whole particular tribe right there. And the whole thing is you just got to understand that Grey Jedi they rely on both sides. They're not just that one centered, I'm going to do it one way or the other. There's been plenty of Jedi that were Grey Jedi. They were not... In my opinion, Qui-Gon Jinn was a Grey Jedi. Yeah, honestly, think about it. He disobeyed everything that the Jedi Council had ordered him to do. He was going to literally dump Obi-Wan off, but told Obi-Wan, you are ready to take the Jedi trials. He said, he didn't really say, I don't want you anymore, but he pretty much said, you have passed every test I have ever given you. You are ready to become a Jedi. And Anakin, being the chosen one, everyone knows that the chosen one was to bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness, which that's what Anakin did. But you can't really blame him either. After being severed from the knees, above the knees down, and having your one arm that wasn't robotic cut off, and it's like, really? Really? And then being just I want to say roasted, almost alive. He was burnt pretty bad. He had more than third-degree burns, I can almost say that. But he loved Ahsoka. We look back at some of the episodes, he was trying to protect her. He didn't like her at first because no one can blame him. Just out of blue, Anakin Skywalker gets a Padawan. And he's like, I didn't sign up for one. Heck no, I didn't sign up for one. He was telling Obi-Wan, there must be a mix-up. Because, you must mean you're his Padawan. Because he's the one that signed up for it, not me. And then she says, no, Master Yoda specifically told me to come to you. Oh, great. Jedi Council's doing something there. I'd say there's something behind the scenes that they didn't show. But Qui-Gon Jinn was always just... He cared about every Jedi. And so, when that happened, it worked out for the better. I think it was better to kill him off. I'm still upset that they kind of did it the way they did. I would have loved to have seen him train Anakin. At least a little bit, to the point where Obi-Wan would be like, I'm going to take over from here after Qui-Gon would have been killed. Because Qui-Gon didn't really teach Anakin anything other than, little bits of advice about the Force here and there. And even then, it wasn't that much. But I'm getting sidetracked here. Star Wars is my passion. But the main real reason, if we really look at it, in the Clone Wars, Ahsoka left Anakin. She said, I need to find my own way from here. Anakin never abandoned her. And he was heartbroken that she left him. Now keep in mind, he didn't want anything to do with her in the beginning. But there was, throughout that time, before she left, they had developed a bond. And that bond was strong. And I mean strong. She wasn't going to leave him. She knew that he would probably kill her. If not, But you just can't think it's about Ezra Bridger. Yeah, Ezra Bridger kind of, falls with some dark-sided stuff, messing with the Sith holocron, but that's to be expected. They go there looking for knowledge, they find the Sith holocron. What are you going to expect? Honestly, what are you going to expect out of a situation like that? Kanan's blind. Ezra blames himself. And so he's using a Sith holocron for knowledge, how to try and help them win a war. And then, Kanan gets pissed, literally gets pissed with him, but it's because Ezra doesn't know any better. And so, now, it's come to the point that Maul's gone, which everyone can finally say, yes, he finally died. But is it really safe to say that Maul dying was the right thing? Probably not. Because there was... Look. The Inquisitors were looking for Maul. Darth Sidious was looking for Maul. We've got all these people looking for Maul. It's not going to be long before the Empire, officially finds out that Maul went to Tatooine. And that kind of messes with the storyline. It does. And Disney, like I said, you messed things up big time. Alright, I blame everything, every small little detail that is messed up on Disney. They were stupid. Honestly. And George Lucas, you're stupid too. In my opinion, I would have never, if I was the owner of your company, of that Star Wars company, I would have never sold it to Disney. You look at everything that Disney has ever done, you see the slight little marks in their animated films, you see everything, and they literally come up with cover-ups for just excuses for it being there. I am honestly sorely upset. I am very, very disappointed in the films. I liked the prequels. I don't care what anyone else says. You brought light and subject to the Anakin Skywalker, of how he became from a small boy to a Jedi to a Dark Lord, and then Return of the Jedi, him being brought back to the light side. I don't care what anyone else thinks about the originals, from the prequels to the main storyline that was originally there before the prequels. I absolutely love them. I even love the old books, the Young Jedi Knights, to even the smallest ones. I absolutely loved them. I used to have so many when I was living in a different area. I had literally bookshelves, and I mean, like, almost around my whole room. If not, like, half of my room full of Star Wars books, because I literally loved the tales. Now, I'm not sure if I'll ever buy a Star Wars book again. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think I'll ever buy one again. Until Disney can find some way to really, really encourage me with this Last Jedi film, the Star Wars Last Jedi. If they do something in the film that inspires me to go out and buy another Star Wars book, then I will. But I am very disappointed with the Star Wars Episode 7. I do not understand why they did what they did. I'm surprised you even really... surprised you didn't say anything. But then again, when you get rich and have a lot of money off a certain product and you sell it, and they give you more money for it, you just don't give a crap anymore. Growing up, Star Wars was my thing. I was born in the year 1995. And, yeah, I watched a lot of sword fighting and gun movies. From westerns to, like, fantasy tales. But the Star Wars was the one thing that attracted my attention. I loved the Star Wars films. And I'm not crying, by the way, it's just... you guys can see my hair is long and it's just like dripping down in my eye. Some loose hairs, but the main thing is just no one understands the whole Grey Jedi. They're not like that Bendu character. Alright, they're not. They're not the ones that are in between. They're not... they just rely on one thing in particular. Protecting the innocents. And doing good. That's what Grey Jedi do. They do good. They don't just do bad. But they rely on all of the Force. Not just one half or the other. They rely on the whole thing. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, the Bendus do that too. Like, he lifted that holocron up like nothing, and, just with his big old hand. Yeah, that's part of being Force sensitive, but with him being like, just... he's a Force being, alright? That's the only difference. You might as well say that about Anakin Skywalker. He was poor. He was born out of pure force. He had no father. You want to know who his father was? Honestly, the only person in the Star Wars book universe that I've ever read that had the capability was Darth Plagueis. He knew that there was a prophecy of a Jedi bringing balance to the Force. So he tried to literally create Anakin Skywalker into being a dark prophecy, pretty much, which he did fulfill. But at the same time, he fulfilled the Jedi prophecy. He did bring balance to the Force. Wiped out all the corrupt Jedi. Killing the younglings, I think, was a little unfair, because I think, I think Darth Sidious could have turned those young ones into Inquisitors as they got older. And it would have worked out for Darth Vader, because with his mechanical suit and everything, with the way it turned out, it would have worked out better. Because at that point, he would have had more to an army than Grand Inquisitor to third brother to the fifth brother, or, that whole Inquisitor brother-sister thing. There's just so much that they left out. There's a lot behind the scenes, and people who don't read the Star Wars books are like, well, I don't understand how, Anakin Skywalker can be pure force. Well, dumbass, read the books. You'll understand that Darth Plagueis had created Anakin to be born of pure force. He was a pure force in the living embodiment of a human. Everyone knows you just can't create like a human being right on the spot. They have to grow from inside a womb. And so, Darth Plagueis had chosen Shmi, hoping, and this is my opinion on this, hoping that being born into slavery would allow him to have hatred and everything he would need from being that small boy. And being picked up by the Jedi, it made his lightsaber skills increased a lot better. We look at Darth Maul, and who is trained by Darth Sidious. Alright, keep that in mind. Trained by Darth Sidious. Obi-Wan Kenobi, trained by a Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn, but had more than the capability to take him down. When he rushed at Darth Maul and broke his lightsaber in two, that was wrong. Because he was in a rage, in a rush, he wasn't thinking clearly, did not have his battle planned out the way it should have. He didn't meditate on it, let's put it that way. And so he rushed, got knocked over on the edge, and Maul kicked his lightsaber pretty much into the pit. Alright, the only other lightsaber was Qui-Gon Jinn's. Obi-Wan, hanging there for his dear life. At this point, he started to meditate. How the hell am I going to get up? How the hell am I going to take care of Maul? Okay. That's when he remembered Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber. He used the Force. He used Force push, honestly. He literally put his feet up against the wall and Force pushed off that little ledge and went up, did a reverse backflip, and summoned the lightsaber at the same time and cut him in half. And Darth Maul fell down. Alright? Being trained by Obi-Wan and the Jedi, it allowed Anakin to expand his horizons, his abilities to win a lightsaber duel. It allowed him to have so much more. Darth Sidious could not give him that. If we were to stick Darth Sidious in his younger form against Anakin, the Jedi Knight war hero, you pick between the two, Darth Sidious would seriously injure Anakin, but with Anakin being pure force, by the time that Darth Sidious ends up injuring Anakin, he's going to be so exhausted. And I mean so exhausted. Because I'm not talking about like in his younger years, about the same age as Anakin. I'm talking like before he got so old, before, Mace Windu and, the whole thing. If we were to put the two together, Anakin would win. He'd be seriously injured, but he would win. And Anakin was practically a gray Jedi, in my opinion. He relied on the dark side. He relied on some of his anger. He didn't use it to the full extent. That was his only downside. Because the dark side kind of allowed him to win most of his battles when performing with Jim So and stuff. But the light side is what always kept him away from going completely dark, because he was trained by Obi-Wan, Yoda, Mace Windu, maybe not in like lightsaber combat by Mace Windu, but he was trained by about the Force through Mace Windu and Yoda and Obi-Wan and all the other Jedi. He did do some missions with certain Jedi. Okay, let's put it this way. For the ones that are like, well, he's talking about all this stuff. If you really think about, and I'm talking, and this one's specifically for you non-believers, that Anakin was pure force. Anakin, being as great as a fighter pilot as it was, you look at the way all the other Jedi were not able to, like, literally be able to aim dead on. Obi-Wan, he was not really a flyer. He actually hated flying. Most Jedi weren't the ones that liked to fly. They were like, I feel comfortable in the water, or I feel comfortable on land. As long as I have my feet on the freaking ground, I'm fine. Because they didn't like that they can't control the situation. On the ground, they could control the situation. Anakin was special. He can control the situation in the sky, in space, on the ground, in the water, in the air, while pretty much just skydiving. I mean, like, come on. Yeah, when he was a Padawan, he lost his lightsaber, because of stupidity. But he was able to just know exactly where to strike, when to jump out, he knew everything, and it was because of the Force. He listened to it, but he also fought against it. If he would have learned more, he could have beaten the Sith and won. He could have been a Grand Master at that. Come on. Like, he's faced off against Count Dooku and lost his right arm. We look at Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan killed Maul. But the thing is, even after Anakin killed Count Dooku, there was still General Grievous, who didn't have any Force powers, and yet they didn't even bother to offer him, didn't even bother to say, we grant you the rank of Master. Really? He was already a Jedi Knight. Might as well grant him the rank of Master. Like, come on. To be able to defeat Count Dooku I'm just sorry, you know, it's... The Jedi itself are wrong. The Grey Jedi are the right ones. They're the ones that should have been having the Jedi Council. That's my opinion on everything. You know, it's only the first video I've ever done of a Star Wars. If you guys want, you know, leave some comments, please. I'm going to be starting my own little Star Wars videos and bios. Hit like and literally, please hit like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Tell me what you guys want to hear that, you know, like these Dash Star and, you know, all these other people who do these Star Wars events that don't, you know, get the main points. I want to know what you want to hear. I'll do my research on it. As of right now, I don't got a computer system. I'm just using my phone to, you know, say these things. So I can't provide any animation right now. I don't got nothing for it. But what I can do is possibly give you guys explanation and kind of like... And the way I've always learned when I was growing up is when you're hearing a story or when you're hearing about the certain bio or whatever, I pictured it in my own head. And I know it's kind of hard for some of you people, but as long as you feel like you can see see the character, see everything, that's all that matters. Like I said again, please hit like and subscribe, and leave comments down below. Tell me what you think. I know I was all over the place, so please don't be like leaving comments. You were all over the place, man. Just, I want to know what you guys think for my official first one. And what you guys want. I want to know what you guys want to hear. I want to know what are your guys' favorite Star Wars characters. Mine is obviously Anakin Skywalker. I couldn't stop talking about him. He gets the girl. Literally, he gets the girl. He ends up freeing the galaxy. So that's the reason why he's my favorite. Luke Skywalker. If you guys want, I can do a video on that. Just came to my mind. I can do a video on Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. I believe in some things, but it's up to you guys. Like I said, please hit like and subscribe, and tell me what you guys think of the video. It's my first one. Later.